Hey, I'm Steven and this is Solving the Money Problem. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. So in today's video, I'm going to be discussing a secret hidden gold mine that will produce billions of dollars in future revenue for Tesla that literally no human being on planet Earth to date has discussed that I'm aware of. Maybe some people have talked about this in the past. I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm a bit of a Tesla fanboy. I try to consume as much content and information as I possibly can, and I haven't heard a single person discuss this, so maybe this will be new to you. Anyway, let's get into the video. And by the way, since I know there's a lot of crypto lovers watching and people who like free stuff, it's your lucky day. For a limited time, you can get up to $250 in free crypto bonuses when funding a new account on BlockFi, where you can use cryptocurrency to earn interest, borrow cash, and buy or sell crypto. If you want your free crypto, use the link in the description. It also helps out the channel. And if you'd like up to 2 free stocks, check out the link in the description to WeBull. If you open a new account, you'll get 1 free stock valued up to $250 just for opening an account. And if you fund your account with $100, you'll get a second free stock valued up to $1,600. Unless you don't like free stocks, that is. And if you're in Australia, the UK, or New Zealand, you can get a free stock with stake, also using the link in the description. Let's get back to it. So just to set the scene, I'm going to bring up my estimates for Tesla deliveries running out over the next decade. These are my bear case estimates, as in worst case scenario, lots of holdups, delays, mistakes, errors and setbacks along the way, and we still have reasonable levels of production, getting to around 20 million vehicles produced in the year 2030. The point I'm showing you this isn't to talk about annual production, but rather cumulative production. If I total the number of vehicles that Tesla will have delivered to customers over the next decade, we're looking at well in excess of 100 million Tesla vehicles on roads by 2031 in my bear case scenario. Now, even if you want to use a different number, if you think I'm insane, cool, that's fine, cut it in half, I don't really care. The point remains. 10 years time, Tesla is going to have a monstrous number of vehicles covered in sensors on roads all over planet Earth constantly. They'll be everywhere. And with this army of robots equipped with a suite of sensors to collect data and information, there is insane potential for Tesla to monetize their data in unlimited ways. The only limitation to how much value there is in this data is creativity, thinking of and finding ways to use it. There's one more foundational thing we need to discuss before we get into the crux of this video, and that is the Internet of Things. For those of you who are asking what the f*** are you talking about, let's have a quick look on Wikipedia to get an idea. So here we are over on Wikipedia having a... that's awkward. Must have had that up from before. Sorry guys. Yeah, let's just keep rolling, whatever. So, Internet of Things. The Internet of Things describes the network of physical objects, aka things, that are embedded with sensors, software, and other technologies for the purpose of connecting and exchanging data with other devices and systems over the internet. So, let's take a quick pause here. Does that describe a fleet of Tesla vehicles, surrounded in a suite of sensors, cameras, etc., capturing enormous amounts of data, all connected to the internet as well? It does indeed. Now, can you guys start to see where I'm going with this? Let's say it's 2031, Tesla's got around 100 million vehicles on practically every road on the planet, covered in sensors collecting an enormous amount of data. This data won't just be valuable to Tesla, i.e. training their neural networks, getting even better at full self-driving and autonomy. No. This data will be valuable to anyone whose brain is big enough to figure out how to make use of it. And this is the point. In the future, much like Dojo as a service could become an enormous revenue stream for Tesla, so too could be access to their data for those who can find a way to use it. Now, I'm going to run through a few potential examples. I'm not saying this is how the data will be used, but I just want to get the ball rolling in your guys and girls' minds so you can start thinking, holy crap, this idiot's right. If somebody wants this data and Tesla's the only way they can get it, dude. So, let's explore some of the potential uses for this data. And by the way, guys, anytime through this video you'd like to leave some comments below thinking of a way that Tesla data could be used in the future, drop them below. By the way, I think it actually might be worthwhile sharing this information with Tesla at some point in the future. I think there's going to be a role within Tesla one day where somebody's job literally to figure out how can we provide value and monetize this data to somebody, and they'll be proactively approaching companies, organizations, etc. going, hey, we've got some data that might be useful for you. Would you like to open your wallet in exchange for some of this data? You would? Great, let's come to an agreement. And I'm sure the reverse will be true too. There'll be many people at other companies coming to Tesla going, hey guys, can we please access this particular sort of data? It'll be really valuable to us. Oh, and by the way, have you guys heard? Tesla's just a car company. So let's imagine for a second that you're a fashion designer, a clothing brand, something along those lines. Maybe you want to find out, where's the latest trends in fashion? What are people wearing in one of the coolest suburbs, which I have no freaking idea. Let's just say somewhere in Paris. That's where all the latest fashion occurs, right? So that's the cutting edge stuff. You could actually query Tesla's fleet and ask, what's the most popular color of blouse being worn in this really trendy, fashionable area right now, and use that to design products and actually sell them, get ahead of the trend. Now again, this isn't necessarily how this data will be used, but this is just one really obscure example. Maybe you're interested in what color of footwear, what hairstyles are popular. Like, I could keep going, right? There's literally unlimited potential here in this data if you know how to use it and find value there. I hazard a guess that if you queried Tesla's fleet today and there was actually 100 million Teslas floating around, which there aren't, but if there were, you would discover that the mullet is making an enormous comeback. Not that anyone who actually cares about the opinions of others would ever rock such a terrible haircut. But of course, there's plenty of people out there who give zero fucks. Bet you guys didn't know that was hiding under there the whole time. I'm sure somebody's going to argue in the comments now, oh man, the cameras are too low resolution. Listen dude, settle down. A few years time, cameras will be high resolution. A few more years, even higher resolution. This is part of the exponential growth of technology. Costs come down, quality goes up, etc. Over time, the cameras in the Tesla vehicles will become more and more high resolution. You'll be able to garner even more useful data from them. So that's the point. We're not there today, but I'm talking 2025, 2030 plus. Fleet of Teslas everywhere, sensors everywhere, collecting information in 3 dimensions. It's going to be nutty. Just imagine being a city council and being able to query Tesla's fleet. Hey, Tesla's fleet, any new potholes developed in the last hour? There are? Great. Any new cracks in the road? Wait, somebody ran into a sign and knocked it over? Okay, we'll repair that. Oh, that tree's overgrown now. That bush is covering that stop sign. It's dangerous. We'll go trim that tree as well. Again, just giving you guys an example. There's so much potential here. It's absurd. Just imagine instead of having to send people out to look all over every street in your entire city, you can just pay to access Tesla's data and instantaneously get the same information. There's literally people's jobs in most cities on Earth now to drive around, they work for the council, the city, whatever you want to call it, to find maintenance issues that they need to repair. That's literally somebody's job. They'll no longer need to do that. They can just query Tesla's fleet. And how about this? It's like Google Street View, except in real time. Now, again, picture 100 million Teslas on roads. They're practically on every street on the planet. Some of these back roads, yeah, maybe a Tesla passes through once a day. Others, really obscure areas, maybe once a week. But other than that, most roads will have Teslas passing over them every few minutes at minimum, and more likely, especially in more heavily populated areas, every few seconds or more. Just think about the potential here to have real-time 3D mapping of practically every road, street, laneway, alleyway, etc. on planet Earth. How many different ways could you monetize and have value in this data? And what about demographics data? Are the people in this suburb aging? Are there more young children, young families? Do people generally have dogs or not? These kind of things. Now you might think, how are you going to tell that from a Tesla? Well, you've got to remember, computer vision is improving at an exponential rate as well. In fact, Tesla are the leading experts in computer vision and object recognition. Just imagine you run some AI. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be pretty good. How much grey hair is there in this suburb? How short are some of the very skinny looking people, aka kids in this suburb? Are there more of them versus adults, etc.? Are there any trends? Do people like little dogs, big dogs, these kind of things? Again, just trying to give you guys an idea of how valuable this data is. It's just a matter of creativity. How can you think of ways to find value and information in this data? Maybe you're a commercial property developer and you want to see in this particular city, where are the most heavily foot trafficked areas? Where are all the people? Where would be the best place to open a store, a restaurant, a shopping mall, etc.? In fact, speaking of restaurants, maybe bars and clubs, you could also figure out what's the hottest bar, club, restaurant in this city on Thursday night. Where's everyone hanging out? What are the most popular places? Where are the longest lines? All sorts of stuff can be discovered from this data. Now, I know a few people's butts will start to tingle as soon as I mention this, but just bear with me for a moment here. What about crime investigations or security? Imagine being able to tap into Tesla's network and have access to video/camera footage close enough at 30 frames a second or so, or certain events, certain areas. Wouldn't that be useful, especially for police and law enforcement? And a side note too, I can see a time in the future where people may actually have Teslas autonomously patrolling, constantly recording without security guards in there, but just to give the sense that there's security there, you can't get away. Imagine a construction site overnight. Instead of having a security guard doing laps, you've just got a Tesla autonomously doing laps. And everyone with a brain knows that Tesla's recording, so probably best not to break into this particular site. The fleet of Teslas could also potentially provide useful meteorological data. In fact, let's take it a step further. What if you've got some Teslas patrolling, there's a few cliffs and mountains here, some obscure roads, you could use these Teslas to detect recent landslides. Or how about this, a really obscure one? Imagine if you're able to use your fleet of Teslas to notice changes in the numbers of animals in certain areas. Perhaps there's a big population boom, overpopulation is happening, or maybe the reverse, numbers are declining. That might be an early indicator that something's going wrong there. People that are trying to conserve species, etc. could be really interested in this data. Now, I could keep going with a million more examples, but I don't want to make this video 420 hours long. However, I'd love you guys to share some of your ideas for how Tesla's data could potentially be monetized in the future. So let me know in the comments below as many ideas as you can can think of. The point of this video is I just wanted to introduce you guys to this idea because, as I said in the intro, I have literally heard 0 people talk about this, period, and it is going to be an enormous money printer for Tesla. I'm talking billions and billions of dollars of value annually, if not more. It's just down to creativity. How can people use this data? How can companies, governments, corporations, etc. use the data from Tesla's fleet in ways that don't invade people's privacy but can provide really useful insights? The sky's the limit. I'm Stephen Mark Ryan. This is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. And don't forget, if you'd like up to $250 in free crypto bonuses with BlockFi, use the link in the description. You can also get 2 free stocks with WeBull and a free stock with Stake, also linked in the description. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you have any ideas for future videos, let me know. I read all your comments. P.S. If you're still watching, you're awesome. If you'd like early access, exclusive videos, regular Q&As, our private Discord server and more, consider supporting the channel at patreon.com/solvingthemoneyproblem so I can keep creating content for you guys. There's a link in the description. You can now also become a member of the channel for some exclusive perks. To learn more, click the join button next to subscribe. And don't forget to check out our merch store. Either way, the best form of support is you being here and watching, so thanks again.